Recording in progress.
All right, so welcome everyone to our first session of core stability and posture. So, in this class, we will focus on doing a lot of isometric exercises. So, just time under tension. So, some examples for these exercises or movements are going to be like a wall sit, where you're just kind of like there holding and you're shaking, or a Superman hold. So anything that reminds you of that type of exercise, that's kind of what we're going to be doing. And again, we want to work on those isometric exercises because as we become fatigued, we could start dinner or working on our desk like this. But as our muscles start relaxing and we start getting a little bit tired and we start coming in, but now if we build that under tension, the idea is that we're going to get stronger, your posture is going to improve. And not just, everyone thinks about posture just shoulders rounding, but it's not just that, it's going to be your core, your lower back, your torso. So if you have a nice core, that's why this complements our posture. So we'll be working on that, and not just our core and our torso, but also just around our hips too, and some balance work, okay? So with that being said, we'll do a very light warm-up because a lot of these movements that we're doing don't really require a lot of movement. It's just a lot of like holding and putting some tension in there, okay? So let's go ahead and just bring that right arm across. Left arm across. And if this is your first time with me, welcome. I'm Coach Julio. We'll be here in this course for 10 weeks together. And yeah, just listen to your body. If there's a movement that doesn't feel, let's reach up towards the ceiling, doesn't feel right or is causing pain, you could skip it, you could speak up, and I'll find you a variation of that movement. But just don't go through with it. Don't think that exercising single arm windmills, exercising in order to get benefits, you need to go through pain. That's not true at all. So let's reverse. So sometimes if you put yourself through that, you will get injured. So, and usually that happens because you feel pain, so you start doing a movement incorrectly, and sometimes there's an imbalance there, and that could cause an injury. So, equipment for today, I would say a chair, yoga mat, water, maybe a towel if you tend to sweat a little bit. Switch. Fortunately, it's not too warm right now, so let's do our ab circles. So wide stance, we're gonna hinge at the hip, come across. For those of you that were with me not too long ago, this also works as a cool down or as a as a warm up. So transition. All right, big hula hoops. And after these big hula hoops, we will start with our session. So. All right, so I'll be going over the exercises shortly. Switch. So I have giant sets, so groups of exercises, and we'll spend about, similar to our last class, about a minute per exercise. And what we're gonna do is be doing some type of active work for 30 seconds of active working out, and then 30 seconds recovery, okay? So let's focus on that today. I know some folks might be a little bit less fit or more fit, but let's try to aim for just 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, okay? So I'm gonna go over the blocks of exercises. So we have 4 supersets or giant sets, keep saying supersets, and they're gonna be between 4 and 5 different exercises, okay? So our first one, we're gonna be on the floor, okay? So we're gonna be doing, we could start making our way down to the floor. So set up your yoga mat. Okay. And this being our first class, let's actually not worry too much about the clock just being active. Let's just go ahead and get our 30 seconds in. I'll explain the next movement and so forth. Okay, so this class is supposed to be a little bit more relaxed. So we're gonna go with the slow motion dead bug. Okay, so a regular dead bug, you're on your back, you're here, you go opposite arm, opposite leg back, and then you come back. Okay, so you go from this position to fully extending, opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay, so now the slow motion is you just have to slow that down. Okay, so go in that position and ready in 3, 2, 1, go. So just go slowly back and stretch, and then come back, switch sides. We'll do this for a total of 30 seconds. You should feel your core stabilizing as my joints are going away from me. That's where I usually exhale, and as I'm coming back, that's when I inhale. 3, 2, 1, time. Right? So again, that's our slow dead bug right there. Okay, let me go next to the next movement. So next is gonna be a forearm plank. Okay, this is one of those static exercises where we're just gonna be resting on our elbows and on our toes. Okay, and elevate. If that's too much, you could rest on your knees and on your elbows and just keep your back nice and straight from your shoulders to your heels. Try to keep a nice line. All right, so 30 seconds. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're up here. Halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Catch your breath. All right. Next one, we are still on the floor. This is called a hollow hold. Okay. So we're on our backs. We're gonna elevate our arms up, so shoulders off the ground and then legs off the ground, and we're just gonna hold this position. Okay. You're gonna feel that your legs are gonna shake, your arms are gonna shake, everything's gonna be shaking. So just kind of try to hold. If you need to rest, then bring your legs down, rest for a little bit, and then go back up. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Don't forget to breathe. So we're here, I'm already shaking. Try to keep your head kind of not resting on the floor, but just like an inch, half an inch off the ground. We're at 20 seconds. Good job. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh man, that was one of the harder ones, more challenging ones for me. Whew. Okay. Number 4 is gonna be our isometric bear crawl. Okay. And some of these movements you'll get familiar with as we do these on Mondays and Wednesdays. That's when this class is. And then we'll incorporate new movements. But a lot of these are gonna help with our posture. So isometric bear crawl. Okay, we're gonna be using our hands here in this position, and I just want you to elevate your knees off the ground so you're hanging out or supporting yourself with your hands and your feet. Okay, so you're gonna be in that position, and that's just the hold. So we're not doing any other movements, you're just supporting yourself. If you need a little bit of rest, just drop your knees and rest for a little bit. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, up. And we're here. If you need a little bit of rest, you could drop one knee or drop both. We're at 15 seconds. 20. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Very good. Hi, Luisa. Hey, Doris. Welcome back. All right, and then hey, Teresa. Straight leg lowering. So this is gonna be for our lower abs, but also static. So straight leg lowering. We're gonna be here on our side, and we're gonna elevate our legs, and then slowly up. Up and then slowly down. Okay, once you made it down, then go up quickly, and then slowly down. Okay. All right, and then we'll take a little break after this one. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So maybe about 5 seconds, maybe 7 seconds to get to the bottom, and then come back up. And then again, slowly, slowly, slowly. The slower, the better. We're at 20 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we rest. Okay, so in between sets, we'll take about 2 to 3 minutes rest. So this is your chance to get some water, catch your breath. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some water. Ooh. How are we feeling? It's a little easier than the last class. Hopefully. All right, I'll go over the next few exercises that are coming up. We have 5 exercises. So we're gonna go with the side plank. That's when we're resting on the floor, resting on our ankle on one of them, and resting on one of your elbows. We'll spend 30 seconds there. We'll switch to the other side. That's gonna be exercise number 2. And then after that, we're gonna do the pull-up press isolation. So that one's a new one. If you've been with me for a long time, this is a new one. We haven't incorporated this. So we're gonna be here pressing our hands together. And then as we're pressing, we're gonna push forward without trying to shake too much, and then come back. Okay, so from the side, we'll be here pressing. And then the whole time you're under tension, you're gonna feel your chest really working, okay? Then we're gonna go with a bird dog plank. So that's gonna be push-up position. And we're just gonna elevate your opposite foot and opposite hand about 1/2 inch off the ground, okay? So I'm not looking for this here. I'm just looking for this. And each one should be for about 3 seconds, okay? If you can't do that, right now because of our fitness or whatever reason, then just hold that hand plank position, okay? Sometimes there could be a previous injury. Your wrist is just feeling funny for some reason. So if you have any of that going on, then yeah, just listen to your body. Maybe next week you're able to do it. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the thread the needle plank. So that's gonna be similar to the side planks. And we're gonna be here, but this time we're gonna be on our knees and on our elbow. We're gonna start here and then just bring your arm through and then back. Okay, threading the needle. So regular side plank, you're on your ankle and on your elbow. Threading the needle, we're gonna be on our knee and on our elbow, okay? Alrighty. Let's get in positions. We're gonna start with our side plank. 30 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're up. We're at 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. All right, we're gonna switch positions. Here we're gonna go to our other side. All right, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, so ankle and elbow, keeping that hip elevated. We have 15 seconds. 20 seconds. 25. 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay. Good job, folks. We have our Pallof press isolation. So remember, this is where we're pressing our hands here together, and we're gonna push out in front of us, and then come back in. Okay. So for this one, let's do 5 of them. Okay. So don't worry about the time. Just go for a count. Okay. So we're here. Just really press your hands like you're trying to push right through each other. Okay. Ready? We're here and begin. So push, push, push. Forward. And then come back slowly. We're doing 5 of these. Each one should take about maybe like 7 to 10 seconds. Got one more. All right, so time under tension. If you don't like push-ups, but you still want to work out your pectoral muscles, that's a good one because that's how you do. That's one that you could do in the car if you're a passenger. So, all right, so this one's a little bit more challenging. This is the bird dog plank. So again, you're gonna get in the traditional push-up position, and this is where we elevate one hand and the opposite leg or foot off the ground. And it doesn't have to be by very much. So it could be a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. Don't go too high. Safety is first, so just make sure you're supporting. So try to do that hold for 3 seconds before you switch to the other side. Ready? Okay, go. So I'm gonna do a count. 1, 2, 3, switch. 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 All right, last one on each side. 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. Ooh. Very good. Did anyone feel like an imbalance? Like one side was stronger than the other? I did. My right hand and my left leg were not the strongest, so I felt better with my left down and my right down. All right, we're threading the needle. So for this one, you're on your elbow and on your knee. Okay, you're gonna come up, hand is up, and you're gonna bring your hand down through the small gap under your rib cage, and then back up. We're gonna do 5 of these on each side. Okay, so go ahead and begin. So again, I'm resting on my knee and on my elbow. If you're really, really fit or really, really good core, you could do this like a regular side plank and just rest on your ankle and on your elbow. But right now, I'm on my knee and elbow. Once you're done with the 5, you can switch sides. And again, just go ahead and switch. Good work. All right. So you get your 2 to 3 minute break. Grab some water. Ooh. Good job. How are you feeling? Feeling good? All right. Okay. So our next set is going to focus on our posterior change with our lower back, okay? So that's going to be, we're going to be in the, all right, Teresa, Ella's feeling good, all right. Feeling a little bit better than earlier today, right? We're going to go with our quadruped position. So that means that we're resting on our elbows and on our hands and on our knees. And then we're going to do the alternating, but we're going to be in a safer, more comfortable position. And then we're going to do the Superman hold. We're going to be doing glute bridges on the floor. So that sit-up position, but we're working on bringing our glutes and squeezing them. We're going to do swimmer arch. So it's like a Superman position, but there's going to be a little bit more emphasis on our shoulder joints. But we're going to be rotating our arms as we're doing that Superman position. And then we're going to be doing a reverse plank, which I'll demonstrate. Okay? So still have about 40 seconds left. So feel free to grab some water. Okay, so I'll demonstrate real quick right now before we start just what the slow alternating bird dog is. So we're here, and then we go right leg up, and then left leg up and right arm up. I think I said left leg and right leg. So, all right, if we're ready, let's go ahead and begin. So right arm, left leg. And then for these, you want to keep your head looking down. Anything that's pretty dependent on your back, your posterior chain, which is, pretty much from your neck, sometimes all the way to your heel. Anything that incorporates your muscles on the back side of your body, it's posterior chain. And let's do one more on each side. And we are good. Rest. We have our Superman hold. All right, so 30 seconds here. This is one that we did earlier, but we'll do it again. So again, just chest off the ground, knees off the ground. Ready? 3, 2, 1, up. So just hold. You're 15 seconds in, halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We have our glute bridges next, okay? So, get in a sit-up position for me. Feet are flat, knees are bent. We're laying here. And we're gonna go ahead and bring your glutes, hips off the ground, squeeze them for about 3 seconds, then back down. Okay, so we're gonna aim for 10 of these with a 3-second hold for each one, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1, up. 1, 2, 3, down. 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 3 more. Up. 1, 2, 3, down. All right, these last two we're gonna squeeze for 5 seconds. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, We're gonna be walking funny the rest of the day. All right, we have our swimmers. We'll just call them swimmers. We have Supermans and we have swimmers. Okay, so swimmers, similar to the Supermans. This one, don't worry about your legs. The legs are irrelevant on this one. This is focusing on your shoulders. So what I want you to do is you're resting your legs, your chest is up, but then your arms are doing a circular motion, okay? So let's do 5 circles forward, 5 circles backwards, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, rest for a second. We're gonna do a second little set of those. We just don't wanna irritate the shoulders. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. I like that one. All right, and reverse plank. Okay, so this one, you could do what I'm going to show you right now, a reverse plank or a static crab walk starting position, okay? So reverse plank, your heels are extended, legs are extended, your hands are here, and then you just pretty much lift your hips off the ground, okay? If that seems like too much, what you could do is just come closer and then just lift your hips off the ground, okay? So when your legs are further away from you, those are always more challenging. You see that same idea when we do dips with the bench. The further they are from you, leg extensions, our one-legged squats, all of that stuff, okay? So 30 seconds, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And 10 seconds. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. Very good. We're gonna transition into our last set right now, but again, you've earned your 2 minutes of rest. Oh. For those of you that were in my last class, and be honest, don't base it off, I guess, fatigue or effort. Just base it if what workout you like the most. Do you like this style of workout, like for this class, or what we had previously at 9 a.m.? If anyone want to share.
I like this one.
Okay, Teresa likes this one.
Got more balance and
Yeah.
strength.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Los dos están bien,
Los
Julio.
dos? Okay.
I like this one.
Sí, están bien, ¿no?
Carmen's like
I like
is there a napping class? How awesome would that be? All right, guys, let's dim the lights and let's take a nap. So, all right, so we're gonna go into our last set. So all of these are gonna be again more on the relax. So 2 of these we're actually gonna be belly down. So I'll demonstrate. I don't know why I'm sitting down when I'm supposed to be on the floor. So this one, this is gonna be the prone Y, T, and W, okay? So Y, T, W, why those letters? Because that's the shape that we want to mimic with our arms, okay? So Y right here, T, and then W is tucked in with your elbows in, okay? And this we're just gonna do for static holds of 20 seconds each, okay? All right. And for these, again, the main idea is for more of shoulder work. So if you want to raise your legs, that's fine. But I care more about your shoulders for this one and the position of your upper back. So as long as you're doing that with the different shapes, that's great. And then if you're doing your legs elevated, that's extra credit, okay? All right, ready? All right, so 20 seconds with the Y. 3, 2, 1, go. So Y here. You just have your arms extended at that Y position. All right, drop your elbows, rest a little bit. Now we're gonna go with the T position, okay? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now off to the side. And again, this is just helping, we're doing the static isometric movements here. So this is just putting our joints under tension in different ranges of motions, and down. Okay, and then the next one is W. So this is where your elbows are kind of tucked in close to your side, but your wrists are still wanting to go on that Y position. Okay, ready, and go. So three, two, one. Very good. Whew. All right. Next one, we're gonna be on our belly still, and this is gonna call the prone T. So what we're gonna do when we're in our belly, I'm just getting off my belly because my ribs are a little bit tender now from being on the floor so much. I'm sure yours may be too. But we're gonna be belly down with our thumbs going up towards the ceiling, and then we're just gonna try to lift our arms up and down, okay? So that's gonna be a hold too. Again, the leg part is extra credit. I care more of what's happening up here right now. All right, 30 seconds of these. So thumbs up, 3, 2, 1, go. So you're gonna feel this in the middle of your back. 10 more seconds. Middle of your back, upper mid back, right below your neck probably. 3, 2, 1. Woo! I like it. All right. And then our next one is gonna be either sitting wall glides or standing wall glides. So we used to do these back in the day. It's been a while since we've done these, but I like these because these provide good posture. So you could do these sitting down, but it has to be up against the wall. So you might as well sit down on the floor if you're gonna do these, but up against the wall. Find a nice flat wall with no obstructions, and you're just gonna keep your back up against it with your elbows and your wrists up and down, okay? 30 seconds, 3, 2, 1, go. So just, and if it's getting easier, it's probably because one of your limbs is coming off the wall. So you want to stay connected with the wall. Ten more seconds. So yeah, usually the moment it feels easier, it's because there's some separation going on. 3, 2, 1, time. Oh, all right. And then our last one, because we're done after this, we're just gonna be doing chin tucks, okay? So chin tucks, we're here. probably a better angle to be here. So again, you don't want to be arched. You want to be nice and straight, and you want to bring your chin towards your throat. So if you're trying to go in front of a mirror and make yourself look like you have a triple chin, that's what we're trying to do right now. Okay, so we're here, tuck in your chin, and then relax, tuck. And of course, when I'm trying to do that, my voice changes to like a cartoon's voice. Let's do 3 more. So you want to hold for about 3 seconds. Last one. Very good. Oof. All right. So again, a lot of these movements, especially the sitting down ones, or the kneeling ones. I say the sitting down ones. You could always do that in a vehicle and on your couch, in between commercial breaks or whatever it is. You know, Ramon, when you're cooking and Josefina is waiting for her plate at the dinner table, Josefina, you could do these as you're waiting for your plate. So, but yeah, there's a lot of movements that you could you could do that you don't need equipment. So, hopefully you folks like these because, yeah, I mean, besides the yoga mat, no equipment necessary. And a lot of these movements are the ones that are actually going to supplement your posture. I know definition and muscle tonus or losing some body fat, I know sometimes that's what we're looking for. But when we start walking a certain way and things are hurting, this is the stuff that's going to supplement that. So let's go ahead and do our little cool down right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit on our left hand. Bring our right hand over and allow that weight of your arm to stretch the left side of your neck. So if you join me tomorrow's going to be strength and conditioning at 9, and then restorative mobility at 10. So stretching, no second workout. So let's switch. So yeah, so it looks like Mondays and Wednesdays are the more caloric burnout days of the week. So if you usually go for a walk or walks throughout the week, maybe plan ahead and try to skip your walk on Monday and Wednesday because you're going to get plenty of burned calories in these sessions. So let's go ahead and just do a gentle trunk rotation using your chair. Switch. Let's bring that left ankle on that right knee. See, this workout only burned 110 calories. The last workout burned 260. So goes to show, what having your heart rate up does to your calorie burnout. All right, and right ankle on that left knee. Alrighty, I'm gonna end the recording, but do we have any questions before